I was so mad. Yes, it's technically still his ex-girlfriend. There's no reason for him to have to look that good. She's not a strong enough villain portrayal. As you may have guessed, I'm a bit of a writer myself. In my own opinion, I don't think it's an okay move. I don't think it's a good move. It really is just peak, isn't it? New intro coming soon, new intro coming soon. Don't mind it. The new one is coming. I'm just working on it. As you can see, my microphone is connected to nothing. I lost my other mic, so if the audio sounds weird on this video, just bear with me. I'm using my phone mic and enhancing the audio and editing. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why do I look like I'm about to announce a new iOS product? But also, why is my review the last review for Spider-Man Brand New Day? There's so many reviews out there, so what makes mine special when Angry Joe put out a review, Doomblazer put out a review, The Escape Pod put out a review, even Moist Critical has a Spider-Man Brand New Day review right now. And every single one of the people I just mentioned have garnered their audience and earned respect in this industry, such that when you hear their opinions, you know it's a reliable source, one you trust, one you've heard before, one you're familiar with. And even in spite of that, I'm 100% sure that my review is the most informative, most entertaining, most enjoyable, the funniest by far. In my own opinion, I would just like to emphasize that is not a diss to any of these people. Please allow me the collab. For those of you who don't know what Spider-Man Brand New Day is, please come out of Patrick's house. I saw it 2 times in the first 3 days and I do not regret either of them. It's a superhero movie and that means it obviously divides its fan base right down the middle. And as with everything, everybody wants to get their opinion out as fast as possible. I am no better than them, I want the views. But is it really as bad or as good as people are saying? That's what I want us to explore today. We're gonna talk about the actors' performances. How well did they do? How bad did they do? We're gonna look at some things that maybe could have just been done a little differently. And when that's done, I'll give you what I think are the best 5 scenes from the movie and my official rating out of 10. What I need you to do is leave your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. Give us your number. Give us what you think. You can do that now. You can do that at the end of the video, in the middle of it, like a weirdo. I have no idea why anyone would do that. I think there's a glare from my glasses. I can also see that they might be a little dirty. So I'm just gonna just pretend I'm a new person. It's like Clark Kent over here. This movie, like a lot tend to do, starts with something that people already found a reason to complain about. I do kind of understand why people were upset though, because when you look at the trailer, when you look at what we've been being promised with Brand New Day, they've been using a lot of the comic panels to kind of, show us like, oh, Spider-Man's gonna do this thing and Spider-Man's gonna do that thing and fight this guy. While none of that was really promised, it was definitely insinuated enough that we were expecting it. Basically what happens is we get a recap of what's been going on with our guy Peter Parker, how he's been dealing with nobody knowing who he is, what he's been up to, the villains he's been fighting, and a lot of the scenes that we thought were going to be big fights end up being in this little montage that they just gave us at the beginning of the movie for whatever reason. We already start to see that Peter is in a very different headspace. As when he's Spider-Man, he's very energetic, he's very, goofy, kind of in the Spider-Man way, but obviously not to the maximum. Then when he's Peter, it's a lot more work-focused. Business. I don't know why I did that. I do find myself now kind of agreeing with the critics on the fact of we could have used a bit more from those action sequences at the beginning. This isn't me trying to take away from the movie we get as it comes, but it really did kind of sell us one thing and deliver another. I don't know if the director, after working on Shang-Chi, has just been watching a bunch of YouTube and decided that he's gonna start clickbaiting as well. On the other hand though, with how much this movie has to cover, I understand why you go this direction instead. After watching this montage, Peter is also being an absolute stalker to his ex-girlfriend and ex-best friend. I know what you're saying. Yes, it's technically still his ex-girlfriend. I know what you're thinking, but it's his ex. That is something that comes to play a bit later in the movie. But returning to Spider-Man activities. If I get the order weird here, just bear with me. If you wanted a structured review, go watch one of the other guys. You've watched the movie, you know what was happening. Something I would like to highlight here, because it does come up later in the movie. All of the actors who get to portray Jean Grey possession, by the way, it's Jean Grey, spoiler, all of the actors who get to portray being possessed by Jean Grey do a phenomenal job. And there's one that was an absolute standout, which is that like one black guy on the street. And I'm not just saying that because, He was really good, I promise. It's fascinating to me to think about having to like give instructions to all these actors to kind of portray somebody else who is portraying a character, you know. Because when you even watch it for a second time, you can already see the mannerisms we see later when we find out it is Jean Grey, from Jean Grey, in that moment. Like when she's possessing these people, her personality feels like it's one mind, one person talking. If you're watching this review, I'm just gonna assume you've watched the rest of the movie, so I'm not really gonna do the whole play-by-play thing. There are a few things I do want to highlight from here before I get into the main idea of this movie for me. Tom Holland's physique is crazy in this movie. I don't even think you need to get into that kind of shape to be Spider-Man, but he did it anyway. Like, he looks so good. There's no reason for him to have to look that good. That might be a pause though, so I'm just appreciating him. Another thing I'd like to highlight is the dynamic between Frank Castle and Peter Parker, Spider-Man and Punisher. It's what feels like friendship in a real way. They talk over each other, they argue, and yet they can't seem to not care about the other in some way, shape, or form, especially Punisher to Peter. It's this whole thing of, I have to protect this person, I feel obligated to, in spite of the fact that to their face I always act like I'm annoyed. And early on in a lot of long-term friendships, that's a dynamic you find, you know, people kind of using what's almost arguing and bickering to kind of mask a kind of love, especially amongst two people who aren't very good at emotional expression, which is where we find Spider-Man in this movie and where Punisher is as a character consistently. They show their love for each other in ways that isn't direct. It's Punisher allowing MJ to stay with him. It's Punisher showing up for Spider-Man when asked to. It's Spider-Man going to Punisher first. I know he said it's because I don't really have anybody else, but he could have really just not gone to him if he did like it. That's a degree of trust you have to have in somebody. A criticism I do understand is, as we get the review of it being Jean Grey and as Jean becomes sort of our villain, she's not a strong enough villain portrayal, and I get that. If you are going into this movie thinking you're getting Scorpion, thinking you're getting Kingpin, thinking you're getting all these things, a Jean Grey anti-hero kind of fighting for what's right in a bad way story isn't what you signed up for. And even to me, it did feel a bit disappointing, but what if that was the point? Hey there, Spider Mages here. We'll get back to the video in a second, but why are you not subscribed? Why haven't you liked the video? Why haven't you hyped it? Shared it? Do something. Huh? As you may have guessed, I'm a bit of a writer myself, you know, like, you know, you get the reference? I'm a bit of a... Okay. That's cool. Hear me out on what I'm thinking, right? What was the main takeaway everybody had from the trailer? Spider-Man. And what is Peter Parker focused on being in this movie? Spider-Man. He's trying his best to just drown himself in being Spider-Man. He's not being Peter Parker for most of it. He's just being Spider-Man. So much so that it eventually causes his powers to mutate and to become even stronger than he predicted, giving him all the stuff that we see in the movie. In a way, from my eye, I think the subversion of our expectations is the point of this movie, because it quickly puts those to the side now that you're in the movie that show you what we really wanted to show you. And it gives you a story about two people walking the same path with different steps. On one hand, you have a Peter Parker who is trying to live without his friends, living with nobody for the first time in his life. He's uncomfortable, and we get to see years pass of him just trying to get used to this, thinking about contacting them, thinking about reaching out, thinking about opening up, but never really wanting to, because he feels like it's his responsibility to protect people. He's feeling the burden of what it means to be special, what it means to have power, what it means to sacrifice everything to get to the point where you know you need to be. And on the other hand, you have Jean Grey walking the exact same path. Jean is experiencing what it's like to be alone. Her family abandons her and her sister. Her sister is walking her through her powers, and just when she's finding some sort of comfort in that, it's ripped away from her. And these two people are experiencing that same loneliness, that same burden of being special from two different perspectives. For Peter, he's burying himself in his work. He's burying himself in Spider-Man, in how special he is, just to avoid the uncomfortable feelings that come with him being human. And on the other side of it, you have Jean Grey, who is having the most human reaction to what's happened to her. She's lost her sister, her family, the world is mistreating her. So why should she act any different from the monster they're claiming she is? If they're treating all of the people who are special like her badly, why should she muzzle herself? Why should she be less than? It's an interesting glimpse into how two different people can experience something similar and take away different notions from it. And it goes a step further at the end to show us how when those two people are brought together, their shared understanding of this problem is able to make them connect. And in a strange way, they heal each other. They help the other understand something they're not quite seeing. Peter would have never been able to unlock that side of him that says, I am both Peter Parker and Spider-Man, if not for Jean consistently telling him to let go. For everybody that he met telling him to let go, yes, but for Jean specifically, that was the moment. When him being Spider-Man, being only the Spider-Man he wants to be, wasn't enough. On the other hand, Jean is only able to calm down her emotions, her feelings, when she realizes that the discomfort of the world isn't an excuse to be a burden to it. Someone can be mistreated, can be scrutinized, can be beat down by the world, but that's not an excuse to beat it back. It's a story about two people who absolutely needed each other at a given moment in their lives, meeting each other and fixing what they thought was unfixable. And then Punisher shoots them. When I finished the movie, I didn't find myself wanting an extra villain. I was happy with how it went. Their growth and their dynamic, it was enough for me. I was satisfied with it because sometimes in life, we just meet somebody who gets us. And that's what happens for both of them here. I mean, we also got the Hulk making his comeback, so I don't know why y'all are mad, really. Like, I don't know why y'all ain't hyped yet. Those are my broad strokes and thoughts on the movie. Let's get into what I thought are the best scenes of this. At number 5, I have one of the last scenes of the movie, which is Punisher disguising himself as Spider-Man and then, celebrating out the window for all the civilians. That was really funny. But even before that, I'll kind of bundle it all into one scene. It's Peter and Frank kind of finally seeing each other as Peter and Frank and not Spider-Man and Punisher. It's kind of like the thing I was talking about earlier when I was saying they love each other and just don't really know how to show it. They finally showed it. It just took one of them having a bullet in their body, but like they showed it. That's the important part. At number 4, and this might be a controversial one, I really like the scene where Jean is in MJ's body and kisses Spider-Man. That was awesome. I was so mad. I was furious, and that's exactly why it works. 10 out of 10. Zendaya delivered the line in such a great way that I actually want to see her as a villain in something now. Because that was so manipulative. I was pissed. I was so mad. And Tom Holland looks so betrayed. Like, he looks so just disgusted, but he literally says, do you know this is unforgivable? I'm like, oh! I saw his eyes turn black, and I started thinking about the symbiote. I was scared for MJ. I thought he was about to swing her neck to the side, and that was gonna be the end of the movie. I'm letting you know now, Jean could have never tried that stunt with me. If I was Spider-Man, I'd have Peter Parker beat. I'm a way better detective. What that mean? It won't just be Ned pulling up with leads. Man, I'm even better in a brief battle. Yes, he is. Quickly in the palace. Punisher. Feeling like Frank Castle. Let me lock in. Around me? Let him know. Here's the only thing the spider sense. Get him. He knew from when I wore the mask that I would carry it instead. And I know this movie brand new. But it wasn't Pete's day. MJ is now your ex, man. You can't do it like that. It makes sense because he was kissing on Jean Grey. No, Spider, you gotta come back. He's losing the mask with this one. At number 3, I am both. This was so cool. This is one of the best lines in like any Spider-Man or any superhero thing ever, in just its delivery. Maybe with time and age it will get better and maybe it will cement its place there, but for me that really felt like acceptance. In case the camera angle is weird, my phone keeps dying and running out of storage, so just bear with me. What really makes this scene for me is the visual of him without the mask. Like, it's just Peter but in the spider, he's literally both in that moment. It's so cool. I don't even think my words would do justice to just how good the choreography from that point of I am both is. Like, it's just so, you have to watch it first. So go watch it. Why have you watched the review this far if you haven't watched the movie? Now that I think about it, go watch the movie. At number 2 is the realization that V.IX is an air conditioner. I was fuming again. I was madder than when she kissed Spider. I was pissed. It was a good red herring because the whole movie, I started trying to go through my MCU novel in my brain and trying to figure out what's VMAX. Is VMAX an X-Men reference? Is there an X-Men here? I couldn't figure it out, and I was just struggling to get my brain around it, but they got me. They got me. And Jean's reaction to finding out is so perfect. The crash out was legendary. I'm a big X-Men guy, so to me, when I saw Jean Grey, I was really expecting her to be kicking it off with all of them, but she was kind of nerfed the whole movie, so I was a bit confused. In that moment, I was like, yeah, that's my Jean Grey. That's my X-Men. What are we doing? Gan! That's Gan! And to me, the best scene, number one, might be controversial again. Peter Parker running in the rain and swinging a Spider-Man. It's so perfect. It feels so out of place in the movie. It took me out, but not in a bad way, but in a... I felt that. Like, I felt for the first time real pain for the character I'm seeing on screen. I've never been a Tom Holland Spider-Man guy. That scene changed my entire mind. In that one moment, I fully got it. Something just clicked for me, and I'm like, yeah, this guy is Spider-Man. He should be Spider-Man forever. It's something about the rain, the swinging, the outfit, and what causes it being, MJ kissing someone else. All of that happening is just so... It's so set up, and it builds up nicely from him following Ned home, him getting the flowers and having to give. There's just so much that comes together in that moment, and it really just... I was almost sad, like actually crying sad because of what I was seeing. It was just so surreal and so real at the same time. That's something which I've said a lot in this movie and for this movie. That's one of its biggest credits to me. The emotions felt real. Not rehearsed, not choreographed, not acted out, but real. Like I was watching real people experience real things and have that human reaction. And it wasn't like they were just having the same human reaction. There's this thing in writing which I heard on a TikTok or Instagram, I don't remember, where it talks about whenever you're trying to create a character, think about the difference between each of them picking up $100 bill, something like that. And each of these characters, despite the similarities in the fact that a lot of them are suffering or going through something, are reacting in different ways. And I could talk about that. That could be a whole video unto itself. But finally, what is the final rating for Spider-Man Brand New Day? It is not the advertised product. It is not what we were told we were getting. Not even close in my eyes. It's something different, not just for Spider-Man, but for superhero movies in general. Not in a sense of never been done before, it's not that good, but in a sense of it's unique, it stands out, and it will be something that will be looked at for. I said will be so many times, but I think it was just twice. It is something that's going to be looked back on and taken as amazing, as great. And the lowest anyone can rank it is even just good. I don't think it's an okay movie. I don't think it's a good movie. I don't even think it's a great movie. I think, despite the fact that nothing is perfect, this is as perfect of a movie as you could get. 10 out of 10. I know, first movie review and is giving it a 10 out of 10. I promise there will be more bad reviews. I have so many movies that I don't like. I will talk about them in another video. I just failed to see what's wrong. I spent a pretty penny on this mask for this movie and I don't regret it. I would have bought another one. It has reignited my love for the MCU. It has fortified my love for Spider-Man and gotten me excited about things I wasn't even that excited for before. There are some things I could have done differently, and as soon as I saw an X-Man, the movie became a 9 out of 10. No dropping it. I don't know what could have been done. It established Punisher's character, it established that the Hulk is back, it gave us a new sense for this new Peter Parker, new Spider-Man, and gave us an intro to Jean Grey and mutants in the MCU. I don't know what I could have asked for. Overall, I don't really have that many notes. It's not enough for me to be bothered. I see the criticisms. I understand the criticisms. I'm definitely going to get some backlash for this, but I do not care. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. Come at me in the comments. I'm ready. And yes, I will be going to watch it again for a third time. And you should be going to watch another video on my channel. Like that segue. I have one coming out in a few days or weeks that talks about how niches are overrated. I have a few on my channel that talk about phrases that you may be saying that you should stop saying. And I post on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts pretty regularly, so subscribe so you can see some funny stuff on the funny guy if you couldn't tell. Thank you for watching. Like the video, comment on the video, hype the video, subscribe to the channel, and always and forever, in whatever you do, go major. Mwah.
Meanwhile, Peter Parker responded.
Let me wear the symbiote.
What did he say?
I think it's finally time that I really went harder. I lost my air recently.
Don't laugh at Oh, man, we're sorry to hear that.
That means I'm Peter, no Parker. It's cold in this place. He got on a thick jacket. While I'm standing here as Peter, no Parker. I'ma dog walk this boy to the beating. You're gonna have to call Peter, no Parker. That's not even fair. He's cheating. This boy told me he gonna carry it instead.
You did say that.
The only fear the spider sense is you coming to an end. If I'm in your neighborhood, don't mistake me for a friend.
Let him know.
Carry it instead. If I see you in that mask and we beefing, you gonna carry it to death. I ain't even done yet. How do you know my boys? How do you know my... That's not fair. Someone leaked. You gamble with your life till a beast about his ex, man. But allow me to expand and talk about your net bands. Look at me. Brand new day, $1 billion. No Way Home, $1 billion too. AV, 4 likes. AV, 30 views. Spidey got the motion and he's trying to catch it too. He's a black J. Jonah using me for the news. That has to be racist. That has to be. What are we doing here?